community boards, councillors, mayoralties, all sorts of positions get voted on up until about the middle of October. But the problem at the moment, there's 2.5 days for nominations for all these public positions to come in on councils and community boards, and there is a lacking in people wanting to do it. The number of people is down. We have an example of Dunedin Community Board has just 10 nominations at the moment for 30 positions, and noon this Friday is when all the nominations have to be in by. So are we in a crisis? Is this a typical situation where everyone gets their nominations in the last minute? David Loughrey, you have actually been in some of these meetings in the last couple of days. What are we looking at?
Well, I've been dealing with the electoral officers for Dunedin and around Otago a little bit. The interesting thing about this is it's not uncommon for people to leave their nominations until the very last, but it's much worse for some reason this election. In the past, I think we've had 70% of people putting their nominations in the last week, but we're down to midday Friday is the finish, so there's really only 2 days left. At the moment, I think we've got 3 going for mayor, including Dave Calput is in quite early. We've had he's been joined by Abe Gray, the marijuana lobbyist. There's a few more councillors for Dunedin just since that particular story was printed yesterday. I think for the community boards, we've got now 20 for about 30 positions, I think it is. But it's slightly concerning that the people who want to lead the city are clearly serial procrastinators who leave things to the last minute. I don't know if that's a good sign. You want people to get things done early and well organised, but whoever we vote for, we can be quite sure, apart from a couple, that they are last minute Larrys.
I'm thinking that relates to me. Every time I was at university, I was the night before kind of writing the essay sort of person.
Deadline driven.
That's it.
Yeah.
Has any of this got to do with remuneration? I did a bit of research on this, and the remuneration for example, the community boards is set by the Central Remuneration Authority. It looks to be about 8 to 10 grand to be on that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Is there an issue here to do with just people not having time? I'm wondering, do we want our best and brightest on these boards, and are our best and brightest, do they have the time to do it, especially when the remuneration is insignificant?
It's always been a bit of a tension between paying councillors, for instance, what possibly they're worth, and adding in the thing that you're doing it for community good. So, 10 years ago it used to be 40-something thousand that they'd get. It's gone up since then. I think it's 50-something for people who are just a basic councillor, but there's a lot more work in it these days, so it can almost be a full-time job. So you wouldn't go from a chief executive position to be a councillor unless you were retired or something like that. The community boards, they don't have that workload, so they don't meet that often, and they don't have a big workload outside what they do. And that's really for people who have an interest in their local communities, and I don't think we have to pay masses for that. I think it's good that it's just, there is a payment, but it's not huge.
So what we're saying is it is time to get your nominations in. You have till midday this Friday. If you're watching this video after midday Friday, sorry you missed out, but if you're intending on getting it in, get it in now.